Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
You build a $49 garden hose nozzle that makes every pressure washer completely unnecessary. Every pressure washer has the same fundamental flow, and nobody was fixing it. You see, pressure washers all rely on motors, engines, or electricity to generate force.
Yeah, I refuse to believe that was the possibility. So I think looking at this, I would start off
year here at Kaynor. I would like to extend a warm welcome to the City of Waterbury Gold Star families, the Waterbury Veterans Memorial Committee, members of our military and armed forces, Mayor Paul K. Penarowski Jr., Superintendent Michael Caracco, Senator Joan Hartley, all of our veterans and family members here today, and finally to the class of 2026. Thank you all for attending today to respectfully honor those we have lost to the service of our country. As the nation prepares to commemorate those who have fallen in defense of our country in our liberties and ceremonies across the country, schools play an important role in helping students to understand the significance of Memorial Day. Keynotes of today's ceremony are simplicity, dignity, and sincerity. We begin this tradition at Kaynor Tech during the Vietnam War as a way to help students understand why they get a day off from school. We wanted to make students aware of the sacrifices that are made by our servicemen and women, especially during times of war. We are proud that the ceremony has kept the same feel throughout the years, one of remembrance and dignity. The success and beauty of this day depends on everyone. The ceremony lasts only an hour, but hopefully those in attendance, especially the students, are left with a lasting impression, an increased sense of pride, patriotism, and appreciation for what these people have given our freedoms in America. Now I'd like to introduce Layla Benjamin from our Student Council, who will be our Master of Ceremonies.
Good morning, state and local dignitaries, veterans, Gold Star families, honored guests, and friends. My name is Layla Benjamin, and I am the president of the Kaynor Student Council. I have served as president for this school year. It is my pleasure to serve as Master of Ceremonies today as we honor 9 of our finest graduates who sacrificed so much for each of us. The members of our Forever Wave organization will now present our colors to a member of the Veterans Memorial Committee. This flag-holding ceremony represents the principles on which our country was originally founded. As the students present the flag and fold it according to the demands of tradition, Kaynor students Faith Mason and Tiffany Souza will read what each fold symbolizes. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veterans. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country. The sixth fold is for where our hearts lie. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all our enemies. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood. The tenth fold is a tribute to the Father, for he too has given his sons and daughters for the defense of our country. The 11th fold in the eyes of Hebrew citizens represents the lower piece of the seal of King David and King Solomon, and glorifies in their eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold in the eyes of a Christian citizen represents the emblem pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, I would like to introduce our principal, Dr. Hilliard, to say a few words.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Our distinguished guests of honor, veterans and members of the Veterans Memorial Committee, the Honorable Mayor Paul Peranowski Jr., Mayor Waterbury, State Senator Joan Hartley, CTECS Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Michael Crocker, our Gold Star mom, Ms. Mary Knight, invited guests, dignitaries, faculties, students, and others in attendance. It is indeed a pleasure for me to welcome you to our annual Memorial Day event. I am Dr. Ken Hilliard, Principal of Kaynor Tech, and this is my honor to once again present this to you along with the Student Council. Ironically, this is the third consecutive year that we've had to move this ceremony indoors. Some folks will remember it outdoors, but we're very grateful to be able to present it to you nonetheless. The ceremony is so special to the Kaynor community that we wanted to make sure that we continue to honor our many veterans, past and present, on this special day. Traditionally, as we said, this event is held outdoors, and it always is held on the Thursday prior to Memorial Day. As you enter our school grounds, everyone can see the many American flags that are placed near our front entrance. These flags represent and symbolize our freedom that has been fought for and defended by the members of the armed forces, including the many veterans and family members that are present at our ceremony today. I would like to thank all of our veterans for their sacrifices and all of the students and staff members who took the time to place these flags out so that everyone could see. We have a lot to be thankful for. Most importantly today, we are thankful that you chose to be here with us. I'd like to thank our Student Council co-advisors, Ms. Shannon Flaherty and Ms. Lisa Enriquez, for continuing this tradition. I would also like to thank the members of our Student Council for presenting this event. Thank you very much. And additionally, our singing Panthers, under the direction of Ms. Sarah Patel, our musical director, who once again presented wonderful music for us. Many members of our faculty, staff, and students have worked hard to present this program, so I'd like to thank them also. Thank you to our parents, staff members, and students who continue to serve in the armed forces. At the conclusion of this program, as mentioned, we invite you to be our guests in our culinary dining room for a brief moment. In closing, I'd like to say that I thank you for today's ceremony. I hope it is a fitting tribute to our veterans, and we look forward to continuing working with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hilliard. Our students will now present 2 readings. The first, a poem entitled Peace, will be read by Garrett.
Peace will come when people live in friendship, side by side, and cherish understanding more than hatred, greed, and pride. Peace will come when people see all people as the same, and no one has to live in fear, in ignorance, or shame. Peace will come when people who are needy can reach out for food, shelter, or love, and no one has to be without. Peace will come when people learn to listen and to care about the rights and dignity of people everywhere. Peace will come when love and trust and kindness knows rebirth. And on that day, people will rejoice in peace on earth.
Thank you, Garrett. Now, Brianna will read a piece by Edward A. Guest entitled Memorial Day.
Memorial Day by Edward A. Guest. These did not pass in selfishness. They died for all mankind. They died to build a better world for all who stayed behind. And who hold their memories dear and bring them flowers today should consecrate ourselves once more to live and die as they. They were defenders of the faith and guardians of the truth, that you and I might live in love, they gladly gave their youth. And we who set this day apart to honor them who sleep should pledge ourselves to hold the faith that they gave their lives to keep. If tears are all we shed for them, then they have died in vain. If flowers are all we bring them, forgotten they remain. If by their courage we ourselves to courage are not led, then needlessly these graves have closed above our heroes' dead. To symbolize our love with flowers is not enough to do. We must be brave as they were brave, and as true as they were true. They died to build a better world, and who we mourn today should consecrate ourselves once more to live and die as they.
At this time, I would like to ask you to please hold all applause during the Gold Star Mothers portion of the ceremony. I now present Mrs. Mary Kite, mother of deceased veteran Michael Kite. Mrs. Kite will also share a few words.
This is a Gold Star Mother's prayer. Dear God, we thank you for the many blessings you have granted us and our country. Watch over our Gold Star parents who are present and those who are not able to be with us today. Grant them your grace and blessings for the days ahead. Amen. Usually I do this by heart, but I'm 97 years old and forget a lot. So I decided I better write down what I want to say. As a representative of the Gold Star Mothers who are no longer with us, I want to thank Dr. Hilliard, the principal, faculty, and students who were here to honor us 9 men who passed away that attended this school. You have never met these young men, but you're here to honor them and what they represent. 9 students will read each name and something about their life. Somewhere I heard, if after you're gone, somebody mentions your name, you're not forgotten. So these 9 men will not be forgotten today as their names are read. There are 2 mothers left Anthony Dio's mother is living in Florida. She couldn't make it today. And myself, we're the only two left. I know after we're gone, this school will still honor these 9 students and never let them forget what this is all about. This weekend is Memorial Day, a day to remember all those who never came back. Whether you're at a picnic, or at a parade, or even just home, please stop 1 minute and think about those 9 men. Soon somebody's going to read the names of those 9 men, and maybe on every Memorial Day, you'll remember that one name that you read today, that they will not be forgotten. So again, thank you, God bless you, and have a good life, because that's what they fought for. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Jack Shea from the Veterans Memorial Committee will say a few words. At this time, I would like to welcome Mayor of Waterbury, Paul K. Pernaruski Jr. to say a few words.
Good morning. Today we gather together to remember and honor brave men and women who gave their lives in service to our nation. The loss of service members is never easy to accept, but their sacrifice reminds us of the courage and selflessness required to protect the freedoms and rights we often take for granted every day. These individuals gave everything for our country and for the principles that define America: liberty, opportunity, and freedom for every individual. Their dedication, their sacrifice will never be forgotten, and it's our responsibility to continue honoring their memory, not only today, but every day. Memorial Day is also a reminder to support the families, the friends, the fellow service members who carry the weight of that sacrifice with them. I want to thank all who served, and to those who continue serving our country today. And lastly, I want to thank all of you for being here today. Keep the memory alive. And I particularly want to thank Kaynor Technical High School for continuing this solemn and meaningful tradition year after year. Thank you all.
Next, I would like to introduce Superintendent Michael Crocco.
Good morning, everybody. So I was driving in today thinking about what I was going to say, and I just out of the blue remembered this story that I had. So when I was in 8th grade, our school went to Washington, D.C. on a class trip. And before I went, my mom pulled me aside and said, you're going to go see the Vietnam War Memorial when you're there, right? And I looked at the agenda and I said, yeah, we're going to spend half a day there. So she gave me 3 names. And she said, and I remember one of them, John Pascal. So she said, when you go down there, look for this name for me, take a picture, and bring it back to me. And she gave me a disposable camera because at the time, we didn't have phones. It was just a disposable camera. So I went down there and took a picture, and when I got home, I went and got kids, this is what you had to do back then. You had to go down to the pharmacy, you had to bring them the phone, they developed the picture. Usually like a week later you got it, and then you brought it back to, so I went and got the pictures developed, brought it back to my mom, and I gave her the picture, and it had the 3 names on it, and I remember she had saw John Pascal's name, that's the one I remember. And I saw her, and she started crying, and I had no idea what she was crying about, and then it gave her the opportunity to sit down and tell me all about the friends that she had that ended up getting drafted and going to Vietnam. And the ones that she lost, and then she told me the story about John. It was a moment that I had with my mom, and it was also the first time I realized the importance of this day, of taking the time to step back and remember those that had given so much for our country and the sacrifice that friends and family had to endure for that to happen. So it's really great that we do this at Kaynor. This is superintendent here because it's really important that we take the time to remember why we have the Monday off, why we have the barbecue, why we have a lot of fun, why we have the day off from school. And I think Kaynor does a fantastic job. So can we give the Kaynor staff and everybody a great round of applause for all the things that they do? I also heard that Miss Flaherty, Miss Flaherty, you stand up for me. This is the first time that she's running this event, so it's been she's been doing a great job, so we give her a round of applause. And then I got escorted into the event by a wonderful freshman, Garrett. Garrett did a fantastic job reading. Everybody up there, I'm really thankful to be the superintendent in this district. As you go on, we have great things, we have great students, we have great events like this. As you go on and you spend your long weekend, just take a time to take a step back and show some gratitude and show some thanks for those that have given so much. So thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day.
At this time, student council members will remember each of our graduates listed on our memorial monument in a special way. Each student will read a passage and present a flag in their honor.
In memory of Michael Kite. Michael enjoyed playing his guitar, but most of all, he enjoyed working on his well-deserved 1954 red Ford convertible. Michael graduated from W.F. Kaynor Technical High School in June of 1965. Shortly after graduating, he enlisted in the Army Air Corps. He married his high school sweetheart in May of 1966. While in Vietnam, Michael received several medals for rescue missions as a helicopter pilot in Sac Train, Vietnam. Michael was only 21 years old in May of 1967 when on one of these missions he lost his wife. Michael wasn't only a helicopter pilot, a husband, and a mechanic, he was an American hero.
In memory of Ray Ferry. Ray was born on October 3rd, 1949. His given name was Ray, after his father, but he was affectionately known to all as Corky. He loved his country, fishing, hunting, and working on cars. Ray graduated from the auto mechanic program at Kaynor Tech. He always wanted to be a Marine like his father. After graduation at age 17, Ray enlisted with his parents' permission, something that was difficult for his parents to do in 1966. With Vietnam Ranging. Still, Ray followed in his father's footsteps and became a Marine. Ray took his talent, his knowledge, in fixing cars to the Marines. He worked in the motor pool. Ray looked forward to finishing his military service and returning home, but that never happened. On April 9th, 1968, at the age of 18, Ray died in combat in Vietnam.
In memory of Roger Melanson. Roger Melanson graduated from Kaynor's machine tool program. He played basketball while a student at Kaynor, and he was an outstanding player. Roger was engaged to be married when he received his orders to report to North Carolina for training, and then to Vietnam. Roger left for Vietnam looking forward to his discharge and his return home to his family and fiancé. Before he was able to enjoy this, a Jeep accident in Vietnam on September 3rd, 1962 ended his life and his dreams.
In memory of John Schultz. John Schultz was born on July 15, 1945, and he graduated from Kaynor Tech in 1963. After graduation, John was drafted into the Army and sent to Vietnam as an infantryman. While in Vietnam, John earned the Gallantry Cross with the Palm and the Bronze Star with a V for valor from the Vietnamese government. John also received a Purple Heart in Vietnam and attained the rank of Specialist. This well-decorated veteran died in combat in Vietnam on November 13, 1966, at the age of 21.
In memory of Edward Ace Flaherty, since childhood Ace loved to play with G.I. Joe figures, and all he wanted to do was be a United States Marine. Ace followed his dreams and joined the Marine Corps after graduating from Kaynor Tech. Private First Class Edward Ace Flaherty served his country proudly and made the ultimate sacrifice for his country. Edward and his father, Edward S.R., are dearly missed.
In memory of Edward Grand Prix. Edward was born on May 3, 1949. He graduated from the Auto Mechanics Department of Kaynor Tech in June of 1967. Edward's family fondly remembers him as always wearing grease because he loved working with cars and motors. Edward was a quiet person and remembered as being shy, but not when he went out with his friends. Those friends still miss Edward, whose funeral was held on January 15, 1969, after his casket arrived home from Vietnam.
In memory of Leonard J. Nardozzi. After graduating from Kaynor Tech, Leonard went into the University of Connecticut. During his 4 years of college, Leonard was very active in the ROTC. Immediately after graduating from UConn, Leonard left for basic training. Sadly, Leonard contracted a fatal disease while serving his country. He is missed dearly.
In memory of Victor Coyote. Victor Coyote was born August 26, 1948. Victor graduated from Kaynor Tech Carpentry Department in June of 1968. As a youngster, Victor was an active member of many youth organizations and he won 2 belts in karate. After graduation, Victor joined the United States Navy and he was intentionally sent to Great Lakes when he left home. When he left home, neighborhood children lined up the streets to wave goodbye to him and wish him well. Victor entertained fellow sailors at the bays with magic and card tricks. After Great Lakes, Victor continued his service to our country and was killed in a car accident returning from duty on November 1, 1968.
In memory of Anthony D'Agostino. Anthony D'Agostino graduated from the Electrical Department of Kaynor Tech in 2001. He was one of 16 U.S. soldiers to die on November 2, 2003, when the CH-47 Chinook helicopter he was riding was shot down during battle in Iraq. Anthony was 20. He would have celebrated his 21st birthday 4 days later. Anthony D'Agostino was a communications specialist for the 16th Signal Brigade of Fort Hood, Texas. Anthony was known to his family and friends as a person who was always looking for ways to better himself.
be serving in Iraq and representing his country. He was looking forward to a military career. As a Kaynor student, Anthony was hardworking and responsible. He grew into a brave, independent, and determined soldier who will always hold a special place in our hearts.
Now, I would like to acknowledge our classmates who will serve our country. Would those students who have committed to military service please stand and remain standing after I call your name? Cassidy Bird, Air Force. Donner Ibarra, Air Force. Avery Fabian, Marines. And Alexandra Lopes, Air Force. Victor Moran, next year's Student Council President, will now read a very special poem written by Mr. Bernard Gooden. Mr. Gooden was Michael Kite's flying partner during the Vietnam War. Mr. Gooden was scheduled to fly with Michael Kite on the day of his fatal accident, but he did not go. Bernard Gooden wrote this poem in January of 1997 in memory of his partner and friend. This poem, entitled The Door Gunner's Prayer, interprets the mixed feelings of courage and fear that the soldiers witnessed as they bravely fought in the war. The soldier in the poem is about to face death in a far-off land. Later, he must encounter the nightmare of this experience, which will follow him throughout his life. I encourage you all to pay close attention to this poem and the soldier's message to all of us. Following the poem, members of the Kaynor Chorus will perform.
This poem is dedicated to Michael A. Kite of Waterbury CT, who lost his life in SOC training, SOC training, Vietnam, May 19, 1967. The Door Gunner's Prayer. Sitting harnessed in my seat, with my flight helmet on, we were going on a mission just south of Saigon. I prayed before each flight. I would say a silent prayer. I know I said a lot of them for the time I was there. I would close my eyes and pray at night. Sometimes I even cried. I saw my friend just yesterday. Today I learned he died. There was an awful lot of friends. The Lord up there to call. If you have reason not to believe me, go down and read the wall. There were times I thought my time would come. I prayed I'd go to heaven, and maybe join some friends of mine from that year, 67. The soldiers who served in Vietnam, we know our heroes are all unsung. Most of the ones who lost their lives were so very, very young. The ones who sent us over there to play the Savior's role, which one of them was keeping track of really was his high death toll. It seems I go back to now, a lot of nights in my dreams. Why does a year last a lifetime? Or so it just seems. To waken at night in a cold, lonely sweat, matching soldiers' names and faces of those Vietnam vets. The soldiers that we lost there, I hope went to heaven. Let the ones who come home say a prayer for them in this year of 97.
The piece we're going to sing next is entitled I Believe, and the words to this song were inscribed on the walls of concentration camps during the World War II. And they were preserved and now turned into this really beautiful song by a composer named Mark Miller. So we'll leave you with our thoughts and some hope. The words are, I believe in the sun, even when it is not shining, and I believe in God, even when he is silent. So, here we go.
Thank you, Kaynor Chorus. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my gratitude to all of our speakers and guests for attending today's ceremony. On behalf of the WF Kaynor Tech student body, I sincerely thank you all for your support. This concludes our ceremony. Thank you all for joining us here today. Teachers, please escort your seniors back to class. Invited guests, please join us in the Kaynor Culinary Arts Dining Room for refreshments. Students will assist you in finding your way there. Thank you for joining us today.